friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction video 365? That in that neighborhood. My brothers and sisters. Another day, another time to get into another one of these true crime, horror, dark, deep, and mysterious what the is going on type of videos. Hope y'all doing excelente out there today, and I'm glad that you came on back to the channel once again to fuck with the bean. Now, the channel that we going to today, y'all, I don't even remember, because I was thinking about this a little earlier, how did I even find this dude channel? You know what I'm saying? And I don't remember how I found it, but thank God I found it because I enjoy the hell out of this man content. And that man that I'm talking about is Ryan from Tragedy Tales. Going back to Tragedy Tales, y'all. In the title of the video, Pipe of Doom. 5 clips captured before horror. Now, Pipe of Doom, that made me think that somebody either fell down or somebody pushed them down a pipe or something and they got stuck, you know what I'm saying, to the point where they end up dying. You know what I'm saying? And it just get me, I don't think I'm claustrophobic or whatever the freak the word is, you know what I'm saying? But if I had to imagine myself being stuck somewhere where I can't move left, can't move right, it's pitch black, and I pretty much know that I'm about to die in this situation, man, that's a horrible feeling to think about, y'all. That is horrible, man. But I don't know. We finna see, though. But before we see, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you might need. Get what you need. We back to my boy Ryan. Once again, from Tragedy Tales. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go.
Life is like breath on a mirror. Here 1 minute and gone the next. So treasure your life, treasure your friends and your family, and don't take anything for granted, because it can all be taken away at a moment's notice.
True.
But hey folks, welcome back to the channel. As always, my name's Ryan from Tragedy Tales, and this week, yet again, we're going to take a look at 5 haunting pieces of footage, ranging from the terrifying Versailles wedding hall disaster to a baby reveal gone terribly wrong.
Oh!
As always, let's get right into it.
Get whatever you may need. Number 5.
A wedding is supposed to be the happiest day of your life. It's supposed to bring together 2 people, 2 families, together for the foreseeable future. You never expect that on your wedding day, a disaster would occur, leaving your friends and family dead. Sadly, however, in this case, this nightmare scenario unfolded. This tragedy begins in Talpiot, West Jerusalem, Israel, on the warm evening of May the 24th, 2001. That day, it was finally the wedding of 26-year-old Keren and 24-year-old Asaf Dror. Together, they'd planned this day meticulously, ensuring that nothing could go wrong. From the decorations to ensuring a strict timeline of events, everything was planned to the minutest of details. However, neither of them could prepare for what was about to happen. On the morning of May the 24th, 2001, Karen and Asaf met at the altar, sealing their love with a kiss. After confetti was thrown, it was time for the reception. As the evening settled, the 700 or so wedding guests began flooding into the Versailles Wedding Hall, a large 3-story building built specially for these kind of events, located in West Jerusalem. Now, for a bit of background, ever since Israel formed in 1948, housing was the biggest issue. With the way that they were constructing things, they just couldn't keep up with the amount of people entering the country. So, in 1970, a new method of constructing buildings was invented, named the Pau-Cal system. Using this system, buildings in Israel were constructed using thin layers of cement rather than thick steel reinforcements. While this construction method seemed to be a breakthrough in the effort to build more houses more quickly and cheaper, it had its downsides.
No, you know what this new construction invention they done created is something that is way more dangerous than what they was doing in the past. You know what I'm saying? They trying to cut corners and they putting people's life at risk by cutting those corners. We see it time and time again. Let's go.
Pau-Cal ceilings have a very strict load and do not allow early detection of problems like cracks and corrosion. In this case, the Versailles Wedding Hall was built extremely fast using the Pau-Cal method. When the hall's design was first drawn up, it originally featured 3 floors on one side and 2 floors on the other. Later, however, it was decided that the building would instead be 3 floors concurrently, so a 3rd floor was added after it was basically finished building. Because this 3rd floor was added as sort of an afterthought, a crucial calculation was missed. They forgot to account for the people being on the floor, as well as the weight of the building and the roof. As the night of May the 24th went on, approximately 700 guests were on the 3rd floor. Tables were positioned around the room to give the guests a large dance floor. Videos captured that evening showed guests dancing their hearts away, until approximately 10:30 p.m. This photo was captured, food had been served, and it shows a happy bride dancing with friends and families, their faces etched with smiles. As the guests danced, drinking alcohol, having fun, some noted that the floor was bowing several inches, something that the owners had noticed on another occasion, causing them to install partitions and correct the sagging floors. However, shortly after this installation, the owners, believing that the issue was purely cosmetic, decided to have these partitions removed. However, by correcting the floors by adding reinforcement concrete, it actually did the opposite. It added more dead weight to the already sagging floor, and it was also found that days before the wedding, the hall owners intentionally removed a dividing wall placed on the 2nd floor. Now, this wall wasn't even supposed to be supporting anything at all, so they removed it, but in doing so, they unintentionally removed the last support for the floor above.
Man, goddamn, Ryan, these people got a lot of unintentional stuff going on with the construction of this building, man. Like, the people who are behind the construction of this building and all these modifications they making, they need to be held accountable, man. Because this is crazy as hell, man. All these people finna fall through this damn floor from the 3rd floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine out on the dance floor dancing, having a good time, you're drinking, you with your family and your friends, then all of a sudden everybody just and fall through. That is crazy. And you got to put it on the damn construction people, man. What, they got too many unintentional fuck-ups going on. I'm getting a little mad at them. But let's keep going.
Just 10 minutes later, a reverberation bellowed through the floors. This video was recorded, and of course, you guys know how it be. I can't show it all because of the guidelines, but it shows a full room of wedding guests having a brilliant time. It's clear that the room and floor were way past capacity, and then all the guests began jumping in a song-like rhythm.
Then you got children up there, man, just looking at that little baby, bro, and knowing what's about to happen, that little innocent ass baby. Yeah, them people gotta be held accountable. I hope that Ryan say that.
Something had to give, and in this case, it was the floor. Without a second's warning, the center of the hall collapsed, sending approximately 400 people tumbling through the air. As it tumbled, the weight of the third floor was no match for the floors below it, tumbling through them like a hot knife through butter, coming to a rest on the ground floor. As they fell, guests were showered in cement, debris, twisted metal, and dust, burying many underneath. The tables around the edges of the room seemed to stop them collapsing through. Some guests were able to grab their children, leaving them standing on high ledges, peering down into the chaos. But there was no time to rest. Hundreds of people were now trapped beneath rubble. What should have been a day filled with happiness and joy was now filled with death and tragedy. At first, the guests believed that a bomb had gone off, but it was quickly discovered that this wasn't the case. At 10:42, emergency calls began flooding in, detailing that the hull had collapsed and that people were missing. Being well prepared for these sort of things, 2 minutes later, the first ambulance arrived on scene. The building looked in such a state. Hundreds of people were bleeding and injured, and some had already died. In the next couple of hours that followed, 300 or so guests were ferried to the surrounding hospitals, but sadly, some were still missing. The only place that they could be was under the debris. While heavy machinery was commissioned to...
Just look, I'm just shaking my head, y'all, cause look at that big ass fucking hole, man. Like, that ain't even a hole, that's a crater. And then I wasn't even thinking about the fact that it's gonna affect the people on the second floor of the building, the first floor. Man.
Help dig through the rubble. The building was collapsing all round, forcing rescuers to dig using their hand tools, little by little. "48 hours later, 3 people were pulled alive from the concrete, and then the rescue turned into a recovery. Tragically, in total, 23 people fell to their deaths, while another 380 were injured to varying degrees. All of the dead were friends and family, including the groom's 80-year-old grandfather and his 3-year-old second cousin. The bride and the groom survived, the bride sustaining a nasty broken pelvis. This disaster was among the deadliest civil disasters in Israeli history, with only a forest fire and a crowd crush carrying a higher death toll. In the years following the disaster, legal actions were taken against those responsible. The owners were found guilty of manslaughter and received 2.5 years imprisonment. Eli Ron, the engineer who invented the Paucal method, and 3 other engineers who built the Versailles Wedding Hall were found guilty of manslaughter. While the engineers received a sentence of 22 months, Eli Ron was sentenced to 4 years in prison.
Man, goddamn, this ain't nothing. They might well just let them be free. When I say hold them accountable, goddamn it, all those people dead, y'all need to be in prison the rest of y'all life, man. A dude, like, even if it's manslaughter, man, manslaughter should get you 25 years or something, 4 years. Man, that's kind of like a slap in the face to all those family members that had to go through this. You know what I'm saying? And all those people who lost their lives, bro. I don't like that. They got accountability, I guess, but it's not the accountability that I was looking for.
But while the creator of the Paucal method was jailed, thousands of buildings were already built using this method. The work now started to identify those that needed repair or that just needed demolishing. After the tragedy, the entire Versailles Wedding Hall was demolished and a memorial was put in place. However, it would take over 15 years for any of the victims to be provided any compensation. In September of 2016, while making it very clear that they weren't admitting blame, the state announced that it would compensate the victims $120 million, or around $32 million US dollars, distributing the cash among the 428 plaintiffs. Up to this very day, the work continues to ensure tragedies like this don't occur again. But there's still a hell of a lot of work to do, and as always, I'm interested in all of your thoughts below.
Man, rest in peace to those 23 people that lost their lives, y'all. Like, real talk. And y'all, man, hey, like I said about the accountability part, that was not what I was expecting, man. I feel like those people should have got more years than that. Like, real talk. And then I'm just thinking about the victims who did survive. Thank God they survived. But just like the bride had a broken pelvis. Man, them people was going, them injuries was all over the place. Broken legs, broken arms. You know what I'm saying? All type of just broken pelvis, broken anything. Sprain this, sprain that. Busted head, teeth and fucked up, your nose broke. It's anything. Somebody probably went blind, probably put their eye out from something falling or them falling into something like that during this crash. Like, those people would never be the same again. And that husband and wife, they wedding anniversary, I wouldn't even celebrate that shit. I ain't no way in the hell I can celebrate my wedding anniversary on that day. We'll have to change it to another day. Matter of fact, we'll have to get remarried again, and this time we gonna do it on a beach. No, we ain't gonna do it on a beach because then tsunami might come or something. I don't know, man, but we gonna have to do that over because that's a horrible wedding day. But let's go to number 4. Number 4.
This horrifying entry begins on the morning of November the 30th, 2021, in the heart of Taichung, Taiwan. That fateful morning, a 50-year-old worker named Zheng arrived at work. Now, Zheng worked for a vital pipeline initiative undertaken by Taiwan Water Corporation. Zheng's job would be to repair and maintain the water pipes all across Taichung, nestled deep within the ground. That day, at approximately 11:30 a.m., 50-year-old Zheng was sat atop a large steel pipe in the ground. This is when this nightmarish footage was recorded, captured by another labourer that day, stationed above the trench. The video showed Zheng sitting on a large pipe, hammer in hand. You can see he's cut out a part of the pipe and he was intending to knock out this portion of the pipe. In the video, he can be seen precariously smashing down on the pipe with all of his might. Now, I know nothing about health and safety, but would you not bang the pipe from being stood next to it? I don't know why he was sat on top. I have no idea. But each blow echoed through the air until, all of a sudden, in an abrupt, bone-chilling twist of fate, the pipe gave way.
Oh!
The sudden shift sent Zheng's balance off, and within a blink of an eye, gravity took its relentless hold, drawing him feet first into the gaping maw of the pipe. Literally 1 second he was here, and the next he wasn't. And just like that, he was gone, leaving his colleagues in utter shock. Now, the pipe in question looked to be going downstream, with extremely fast-flowing water inside. Falling inside looked like a 0 chance of survival.
I ain't know the pipe. See, I wasn't thinking about the pipe like it had water in it, y'all. That changes the whole scenario up. You know what I'm saying? This is a little different than I visualized it before we started the video. But it's still a tragedy tale.
Later that day, the pipe was cut open and Zheng was recovered from within. Sadly, he had sustained terrible injuries. Paramedics summoned to the scene could only confirm the inevitable. Zheng had died. Now, this accident was totally avoidable, in my opinion. They say safety measures have been written in blood, but surely someone should have seen this coming. There wasn't much the co-workers could do, but why were they recording him instead of advising him otherwise? That's
a good fucking question, Ryan. Why are they recording that shit? Let's not start the conspiracy theories, my brothers and sisters. Let's not do that. I'm just saying.
Just so many questions, but so little answers. I can only imagine what was going through his head within the few seconds that he would have been still alive within the pipe. You've seen what water pipes look like. They're far from smooth on the inside. He would have been violently ripped through like a cheese grater. It just doesn't bear thinking about.
Number 3.
When you look at fast-flowing floodwater, it looks like, well, water. almost as if it's worth having a swim. But what you're not seeing is the assortment of sharp, heavy objects carried by the strength of the currents, and the sheer amount of raw sewage that floodwaters can stir up. It's filthy dirty. It's best to never underestimate any fast-flowing water, especially floodwater, and to find alternate routes should a road be flooded. This entry begins in India on August the 13th, 2017. In the days leading up to this day, India and the surrounding countries were being absolutely battered by monsoons. These treacherous forces of nature, which lasted until September of 2017, caused widespread flooding all across India, affecting 45 million residents and destroying almost 700,000 homes, leaving approximately 1,419 people dead. A brief window into the horror was captured on a small road in the Arya district of Biharon. The haunting video begins showing a raging brown river racing underneath what looked to have been a road, now reduced to a small plain of asphalt. In the video, the road can be seen swallowed by copious amounts of floodwater. It even shows a tree was being dragged under the road, so just imagine the power that was being swept under there.
And I'll tell you one thing, I wouldn't be standing on that damn road or bridge or whatever it is watching this shit. I wouldn't be nowhere near close to this, man. All these folks is crazy as hell. I hope ain't nothing finna happen to them. I'm just saying, man. This is not cool.
The camera then pans to a large group of people eager to cross the road. However, as you can see, there isn't really a road left. People can be seen precariously running across the road as it's literally crumbling underneath their feet, putting their lives in direct danger. Falling into these kinds of waters would be a death sentence. Of course, any sane person would find another route, but it looks like in this case, there possibly wasn't one. If that road crumbled, they weren't getting home that day, possibly leading them to take more risks than they perhaps should have done.
See, my problem is, y'all, it's too many people trying to cross this road, man. Now, if it's one or two or three, that's bad enough. You know what I'm saying? You're putting your life at risk. But when you got all these people, you adding on to the weight of this road. It really ain't no road. It's a thin piece of fucking concrete at this point. You know what I'm saying? Asphalt at this point. But you got all these people keep running across it, man. Eventually, you know what they doing. This is Russian roulette. This is a different version of Russian roulette. Eventually, that gun gonna go off on somebody. Eventually, you gonna fucking fall. Somebody gonna fall in this damn water, and you dead. You dead when you fall. You dead. Point blank. Period. Oh man, this one crazy, man.
The video continues, showing more and more people crossing. Soon, cracks begin to show on the road, and it looks like it's just about to collapse.
They got children running across it, risking their life and everything, man. What the is going on?
Surely you'd think no one is going to try and cross it now. But of course, one family tries.
No, man. Oh!
The three of them tumbled into the raging waters below, sweeping them out into the murky floodwaters. Looking out into where the family had been swept, nothing could be done. Despite a large search and rescue attempt, their bodies were never recovered and remain missing to this very day.
Jesus fucking Christ, y'all. Then it would look like it was a little girl running with her. Rest in peace to them, man. That was just a horrible decision. Man. It's just so crazy to see so many people on that bridge making that decision at that time. Like, you just know the inevitable is about to happen. Number 2. Let's go to number 2.
Gender reveal parties are a type of party held during pregnancy to reveal the gender of the upcoming baby to family and friends. They're something that have popped up in the early 2000s, and due to social media, they quickly took mainstream attention. But now in 2023, gender reveal parties are very common. Most go well without any hitches. But some gender reveal parties have been known to go terribly wrong, leading to the death of innocent people. For example, in September of 2020, a gender reveal pyrotechnic device started the El Dorado fire in California, leading to thousands of acres burnt and the death of one firefighter. Even on this channel, I've already covered a bizarre death in Iowa where a family accidentally created a pipe bomb in an attempt to create a colourful explosive device that they could post online.
I remember that. I definitely remember that.
It exploded and the shrapnel hit a woman and killed her. However, on the 2nd of September 2023, another tragedy occurred while a baby reveal party was ongoing for a baby in Navolato, Mexico. That day, a Piper PA-25 crop duster plane was hired. This small plane is actually classed as an agricultural aircraft, as it's usually used for the spraying of crops and towing. However, that day, it was going to be used for something slightly different. Instead of fertilizer inside, they placed pink powder. They planned to drop this while performing a trick over the family celebrating below. So, that day, the family turned up and eagerly awaited what was to come. In the viral footage captured, it shows the parents-to-be stood by giant letters spelling "Oh baby," with the plane coming right towards them in the distance. Moments later, as the plane came over the party, the pilot released the pink powder and then pulled up on the controls. Then, this happened.
Oh, what the fuck?
During it, the left wing detached from the fuselage, causing the aircraft to plummet to the ground. Astonishingly, as the plane comes to a crash just behind the party, the camera pans back to see the guests cheering and celebrating, completely unaware that the plane had even crashed. Local authorities told CNN that paramedics treated the pilot on scene before rushing him to the local hospital, where sadly he succumbed to his injuries. Now watching the footage back, it's kind of eerie at the fact that they were celebrating all while the pilot was dying. Well, of course,
That's some eerie shit for real, man. Kind of giving me chills. Ugh.
it's tragic that the pilot died. This whole situation could have been even worse. Just imagine what would have happened if the plane had have crashed into the crowd.
True.
The local authorities warned against using similar planes in these stunts, but who knows what will go wrong next.
True. I ain't think about that part, Ryan, man. What if, my brothers and sisters, that plane would have went up and crashed down into all them people? Man, Lord have mercy. I don't think I could have took it. This one right here, man, from Tragedy tells y'all that all 4 of these so far have just been, oh my, what the is going on type of video. For real. And we got one more to go. Let's check it out.
This horrifying story occurred almost 8 years to the day, on the night before Halloween, on the 30th of October 2015, in Bucharest, Romania. On that cold Friday night, around 10 PM, approximately 500 people gathered at a club called Club Collective, nestled in the heart of Bucharest. This nightclub, born from the ashes of an old shoe factory in 2013, had become a local hotspot for local rock bands, drawing enthusiasts from far and wide. Inside the club, as the crowd chanted, the moment that they'd all been waiting for had arrived. The stage lit up with the appearance of the popular local metal band, Goodbye to Gravity, performing tracks from their highly anticipated second album. Despite its intended capacity of just 80 seated people, many witnesses attested that the venue often swelled to accommodate up to 700. Thanks to its imperfect layout, stemming from its factory origins, that night only one of the 3 entrances was in use, funneling guests through a makeshift corridor, gated by double doors, of which only one was open.
That is the biggest fire hazard violation, whatever I'm trying to say. They are in violation of the damn protocol that they should be following. 700 damn people in this place, and it's only one way in and one way out, and that way in and way out is not big enough for 3 people to get through at one time. Oh man, it's gonna end bad. I got a feeling the stage gonna catch on fire or something. Something gonna catch on fire, and these people not gonna be able to get out. Then they gonna be running to this little ass exit, and some of them gonna get trampled on. That's my guess, but let's see.
Before the concert kicked off, the band thrilled the audience with an exciting announcement. They had installed customized lighting, also known as pyrotechnic effects, and some ceiling elements within the club. They had installed these on pillars next to the stage. The reason for this installation was, and I quote, to bring to life the science fiction artwork of the new album. These pyrotechnics, installed earlier that day, were positioned horizontally, facing towards the club, towards the crowd, a very dangerous setup. As the night went on, it was completely normal. The first activation of these fireworks went off without a hitch. However, at precisely 22:32, it was time for the second round. As they ignited, sparks shot towards the audience, inadvertently landing on insulating foam attached to the pillar. These sparks instantly set it ablaze. All of this was captured on video.
La mulți ani!
There you go. And the crazy part is, you heard that last little woo. And the crazy part is, some of these people in the crowd probably think that's a part of the show. They probably think they did that on purpose. But boy, when the panic ensued, man, people finna get ran over.
Are cineva extintor?
Initially underestimated, the flames rapidly escalated, catching everyone off guard. Within moments, the fire had leapt up the pillar and was now racing through the wooden roof space, engulfing the wooden structure and foam insulation. The combustion of the artificial foam released huge amounts of toxic gases into the room, and with only one fire extinguisher and no sprinklers and no fire escape method, panic ensued as people began rushing towards the only exit. When they got there, they found that it was only partially open. This bottleneck, of course, led to a stampede, trapping many inside the club. This entire sequence of events unfolded in the space of just 60 seconds. It was that quick. Amongst the scream and the cries, people trampled one another, fighting desperately to escape the inferno. Just 2 minutes after the blaze had started, the power failed in the club, sending the club and the container entrance into darkness.
Wow.
So just imagine this. You're trying desperately to escape from a club that's set on fire. There's smoke and toxic fumes in the air. You can barely breathe. You can barely see. But you know you need to escape. It was pretty much every man for themselves. What was about to follow would haunt those who survived forever. As the crowd struggled forward towards the lone exit, the second door succumbed to the pressure and broke from its hinges. This rush of oxygen only fueled the flames behind them, reaching temperatures of over 1,000 degrees. As the flames exploded with the influx of oxygen, those at the front heard the horrifying screams at the back as the fire caught them. By 22:35, 5 minutes after the fire had started, the flames were now visible from outside, and the sounds of anguished screaming echoed through the night. Bystanders watched in horror as charred figures stumbled from the smoking club, their injuries unimaginable. Many would not make it. Some survivors who had managed to escape actually ventured back inside to rescue friends, only to be overcome by the deadly fumes and faint and perish on their second attempt. Firefighters and police arrived approximately 11 minutes after the fire began. By then, most of the tragedy had occurred. When they got to the club, they found a scene straight out of a nightmare. Hundreds writhed in agony, their clothes charred and their bodies seared. By now, a pile had begun to form near the exit, composed of those who had come so close only to succumb to their injuries or poisonous gases. Some people suffered fractures and concussions, and these people were transported to hospitals. Locals rushed in to offer basic first aid, water and blankets, and in total, 146 people were hospitalized, many in serious condition. The death toll climbed steadily. By March of 2017, it had reached 64, with the last survivor succumbing to their burns in the hospital. Vocalist Andre Galoot remained the sole survivor of the band.
Wow. That's crazy.
An investigation into the fire's cause revealed a litany of negligence. The club was overcrowded, it used outdoor fireworks indoors, and to make it worse, the whole club was lined with highly flammable neoprene soundproofing. The complete lack of safety measures, with the fact there was only one exit and no sprinklers or windows, compounded the tragedy. To make matters worse, the club had been granted an operating license without proper inspection by firefighters. And most shockingly, the owners knew that the soundproofing was flammable, but chose to keep it and save money, insisting that the pillars were fireproof. Tragically, they were not, and this decision cost 64 innocent lives. Candles and memorials adorned the club's exterior. The ensuing outpouring of anger and grief evolved into nationwide protests that spanned 10 days, ultimately leading to the resignation of the Prime Minister. Now, I must touch on this particularly tragic twist, but it's not really related to the fire. 13 victims did not succumb directly to their injuries. Instead, these people fell victim to bacterial infections. When families asked to relocate their loved ones for better healthcare, their pleas were rejected. The Romanian government assured people that their healthcare was on par with everyone else's global standards. This, however, was a lie. Medical professionals came forward, revealing that the hospital had been using heavily diluted sanitizer. One particular company named Hexipharma had allegedly watered down a 13% concentration sanitizer to a mere 3%. Then, to get rid of them, they illicitly offloaded it to a hospital after bribing the managers. This revelation eroded public trust in the entire healthcare system. Apparently, the dilution of the sanitizer had been ongoing for years.
It's one thing for like that club and the wedding party, you know, whoever constructing that building. It's one thing for them to be putting people's life in danger, but we got hospitals out here putting our life in danger, man. The one place where we think we can go to for our life to be potentially saved, they out here freaking diluting sanitizer. You know what I'm saying? Like oh my God, man, it's a dirty, dirty world that we live in.
In 2016, local law enforcement sought to arrest Dan Condria, the owner of Hexipharma. However, they were never able to because he crashed his car committing suicide on May the 22nd.
Wow.
In 2017, the owners of Club Collective and the pyrotechnics supplier faced court. After 5 years in court, on May the 12th, 2022, the court finally handed down sentences. It gave 6 years to the nightclub owners and 11 years to the fireworks company.
That's not enough. That's still not enough.
They were all jailed under death by negligence.
It's not enough.
But that is the end of this video. Seriously, that nightclub fire just gave me goosebumps. Just the idea of being in a club, having fun, and then literally within the space of 1 minute, everything's on fire, and then you find you can't escape. And the wedding hall disaster was horrible. I never even thought about the floor collapsing when you're in a club. It doesn't even occur to me. Zheng, who was banging on the pipe, I don't think he should have been there at all. And the road collapsing in India was just avoidable, but also extremely tragic. But just before I go, if you're into true horror list style content such as this, be sure to go down and smash that subscribe button, and make sure you click in that notification bell to be alerted when I release content such as this. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
My brothers and sisters, all 5 of these, man, are like really like some tragedy tales, man. But let's start with the most recent one. Like I said, I don't feel like they got enough time. 11 and 6 years. No, man, you know, 64 people died from this shit, man. That y'all know that this is a dangerous situation, man. And y'all put their life in danger like that. And it's also, I talked about the hospital thing. That's crazy. That damn, even the hospital can't doing nefarious and shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't trust the hospital out here. But it was just real. I don't know what the word is. Funny or sad. It is sad, but it's another word like strange, I guess I would say. That only one of the band members survived. You know what I'm saying? And they the ones who came up with this idea to have the fireworks going off inside the club and all that. And only one of them lived to tell about the story. And the story was tragic as hell. That one right there just messed up, man. The next one was the one before that with the man, the pilot of the plane with the baby reveal. Man, that is some eerie shit because the camera looked at the plane, lost his wing, went up in the air and fell back down. But whoever was recording, they so in the moment, so hyped, you know what I'm saying? Celebrating the moment of this reveal. So they ain't really thinking about what they capturing. They went right back to the couple happy, everybody out there clapping, not knowing that they was a few feet away from death because that plane could have crashed on them. And RIP to that pilot, man. That's just crazy as hell. The one before that, oh my God, man. It's like these people was playing Russian roulette. Running across this bridge, this road. They know at some point this shit gonna fall. And it looked like it was hundreds of people out there doing this. And when I say people, I'm really stuck on that. The fact they had their children out there running across that shit. Little babies, man. And a family, they lost their life over that, man. RIP to them too. These was crazy, y'all. These were most definitely crazy. The one before that, number 2, the pipe, the man in the pipe. He fell down in the damn pipe, man. I'm with Ryan on that one too because I don't know if he shouldn't been up there banging on that shit. And it's a possibility that you can fall through it. And the main thing about that one is like Ryan said, why the hell was they recording this shit any damn way? Why was y'all recording that? Who was that was recording that? That's the even more important question. Who was that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. RIP to him because inside them pipes like that, it might look smooth on the outside, but on the inside it's like the most sharpest ridges for you to be flowing through, and that shit was just cutting his body up. Just, oh man, a tragedy tale. In the first one, my brothers and sisters, with the people up on that dance floor, did y'all see how big that hole was, man? That one, that go back to the, man, it's crazy how you can't even go and enjoy yourself with it. No, let me say that right. It's crazy how you will be somewhere and be in danger and not even know it because of the people who are over this place that you visiting are being negligent and being unsafe. And with them being unsafe and not taking the correct precautionary measures to keep all their visitors safe, you in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like damn, y'all put me in some shit I ain't even want to be in, bro. I would have never came here if I knew that y'all flows was this defective or whatever the word is, man. RP to those people too, y'all. And seeing that clip, man, was just crazy, man. All those people like that, man. There was so many, man. So many people had so many injuries from that one. I can only imagine. And like I said, that wedding couple, y'all got to get married again, man. Y'all got to redo that because that day is not the day to remember. But I agree with my brothers and sisters. I most definitely have talked long enough. I appreciate y'all coming on back once again. Before y'all leave, make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that. And come on back tomorrow because we're going to Jose Ortiz from Evil Intentions. But until then, my friends, I also got to say this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.